and blessings be upon you. This is Sheikh Ibrahim Atijani. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. With, by, and through the name of Allah. This is going to be a series. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. It's not going to be that long, but it's going to be that strong. Just a brief introduction to Zikrullah, or some say Zikr is the remembrance or invocation, intonation, or affirmation of the names of Allah, and many other things. Zikr is a spiritual or psychological exercise that you do repeatedly, and it increases your state. It's done in many different traditions, many different cultural practices, many different religions as well, and also done universally. Everything has a zik. Everything is held together through a zik. So before I start this video off with jumping deep into it, we're going to go step by step because that's the best way to start a journey with the first step. And this November the 1st, so we should just start with the knowledge, the foundation, right? The key that unlocks these doors. So starting off, I'm going to read something very brief about one of my favorite personalities, Masaru Emoto, and his water experiment. Masaru Emoto, a Japanese author, he claimed that human emotions could infuse the molecular structure of water. In his experiments, Emoto exposed that water exposed to different emotional stimuli such as positive or negative thoughts, words, or music afterwards would have effect on the water. So he froze that water and he examined the results. The results being ice crystals that he looked at under a microscope. Emoto asserted that water exposed to positive emotions formed symmetrical and aesthetically pleasing ice crystals, while water exposed to negative emotions produced asymmetrical and less appealing structures. He published his finding in his book, The Hidden Message in Water. So something very good to look at and consider. Now, the body, it makes up about three-fourths of water, maybe more. Even the earth makes up 70% of water. And water is the essence of life in the universe. What Emoto discovered that through his experiment of broadcasting nice things into water, such as "I love you," "you're beautiful," and these things that had effect on the water when he froze it, and he had these geometrical structures, and it was very beautiful. So it's the same effect when you say something to a person. When you say something to a child, for instance, a child's coming up and you tell the child, "You're very intelligent, you're very smart." That has an effect on the child. They feel good and they strive towards what you said to them. In the same way, when you do affirmations, it has a profound effect on the subconscious mind. Just as the opposite is true. When a child comes up in a household and the child is always talked down to, um, you tell the child you're nothing and you hurt the child's feelings. What happens is the child takes on those feelings and it directly affects their esteem and their plight in the world. So words are very powerful when we use them. And most of us, we use these words unconsciously. We're 95% of our day just ran by the subconscious mind, the automaton. And we do these things. But if you listen to music, you know that if you're in a not so happy state, you listen to your favorite music, you get happy, you get animated. You go to the party, you dance, the music moves you, you're having a great time. Back in the day when people got sad, someone lost their woman, they would put on the blues, and they would just they would just be in that state and just play the blues. So music, waves and vibration has an effect on our state of being, and generally, it happens unconscious when you're unconscious of it. When you're watching a horror movie, you hear the music creep up slowly and slowly and slowly until something jumps out and you're shocked. So it gets into the subconscious mind and you have a physical reaction. Well, this is the same with the spiritual practice or the psychological practice of Zik. When you have a certain words that contain very, very powerful seeds within them. So when you do this spiritual practice and you invoke, you call this state within yourself from within, and you'll see it expressed without, and you reap what you sow. So this is the method. This is the method of Zik. The repetition of words, chanting. It impresses on our subconscious mind. In time, that affects our behavior. To quote the text, the scripture, John 1 and 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And actually, in the actual translation, it doesn't say in the beginning was the Word, it says in the beginning was the Logos. And Logos can mean word, it can be thought, or even principle. So in the beginning, you start with this principle, you start with this thought, and as you impress it over and over and over, is with you, and then it becomes you. So this is basically a very simplified introduction to what is zikrullah, the remembrance of Allah, or the invocation of Allah. With zik, you usually see someone has a tasbih, um, this right here, and you'll see a person going on their beads. There are invocations, different things from the Quran, different prophetic invocations, and many other things. And it's a very, very deep wormhole to get into, and we will slowly take it step by step. We have some questions here on certain things about Zik. And if you have a question, just send your email to secretofalaw@gmail.com, and your question will be entered. It will be answered on one of the episodes. So the first question is, can Zik be performed with a group or a community? And the answer to that is absolutely. It's very, very powerful when you perform Zik with another person or people, because you're increasing the minds and the beings who are concentrated on a single ideal and doing a single thing. So it's very, very strong, and it reverberates very highly. If you think about, whenever you have a group, you have one person singing a song, but when you got four, five, six people singing the same song, the vibe increases so high and it radiates. So it's very beneficial. Even when you have a group of people praying, this is the same exact thing. It's reverberating so high. When you have one instrument and you're playing that one instrument, it sounds great. But when you add more and more and more instruments, now the orchestra creates a whole different phenomenon. It increases the power. So absolutely, it's very beneficial to do Zik with other people, but Zik by itself as well does the same thing. Just as the butterfly effect, scientifically, the butterfly effect, it says that a butterfly, when it flaps its wings, it produces a small bit of energy. But that energy keeps going and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And it has a direct effect on hurricanes and weather patterns on the other side of the planet. This is called the butterfly effect. So it's the same thing when you do an affirmation, a prayer, a dua, invocation. The next question: Does does it require a certain position or posture? And no, it does not. You can do zik regardless of what position you in or posture. That doesn't matter. The next question: Is there a way to do zik without the tasbih, the prayer beads? Absolutely. Um, One of the most ancient ways that it was done, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon the light of both worlds, it was done this way. You have digits on the fingers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if you was going to do something 33 times, such as Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. That's 15. And you repeated that again, that's 30. And then you repeat it again, that's 33. So you can actually use your own hand to do dhikr, or you can do zikr zatiya, or the essence of zikr. Repeat a certain phrase or statements continuously throughout the whole entire day, such as La ilaha illallah. Allah is the only reality, and you repeat it constantly in your mind when you're about to go to sleep, and just you sweeping, you making oodles and noodles, or whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? You can just do it over and over and over again, and that is a very, very powerful zik to do. So zik has a direct impression on the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a abundant sphere of many different seeds. So when you use certain words, these words are archetypes, and when you do it over and over and you say it over and over and over again, it becomes stronger and stronger. You build neurological pathways between the electrical signals in the brain that get stronger and stronger that you do it, especially when it's infused with feeling. So in this way, in the beginning, you just have the word, and the word is with you, but in time, the word becomes you. Just as a person who just starts to learn martial arts, they just first begin and practice the techniques, and they're a little bit shaky, they're not very good, but the more they do it over and over and over and over again, the techniques increase, and then the longer they're in it, they become automatic. As Bruce Lee said, I don't move, it moves all by itself. And this is how Zik um, takes place as well. We have one more question, I believe, or two more questions actually. What is the purpose of doing Zik at a certain number? This is a very important question because the universe is based off of living mathematics. So it's just like when you calling somebody, you dial their phone number. So if you off by one digit, you get somebody else. So numbers is very important to call what exactly you want to call. It's the essence of the thing. Even on a periodic table, all of the elements are numbered, and them numbers have their weight, and that's what it is exactly. So the number of doing it is very important. If you look into Suratul Jinni, or the Surah of Jinn, the 72nd chapter in the last verse, 28th verse, it tells you how Allah has numbered everything. So the number is the essence of the thing. It's his very essence. Even when you track your birth rate, you know, and you travel a year around the sun, you say, "Oh, it's my degree day now. Now I'm a different degree." So that number is tracks the unfolding mathematically of the state. So it's very important to do zik at certain numbers. It's that you receive from a sheikh, you know, a spiritual guide, and the essence is in the number. The number is very important. Even if you put something in a microwave, you don't put it on any number. You put it on that specific number, or you're gonna burn it, or it's gonna be undercooked, right? So the number is very, very important when you're doing zik, and they have very weighty significance. Um, so number is very important. The last question is, when doing zikr, what should the focus be? Now, you can actually focus on specific things. You can focus on the exact zikr that you're doing. Your focus can be on prime source creator, Allah. You can focus on the effect of that zikr, picture something in your mind. But when you picture things, this is called muraqabah. It's actually a meditation on an image. So, and there's certain spiritual practices and exercises that actually use that. But when you're doing zik, you can put your attention on a number of different things, um, but it's always based on taking what your sheikh gives you. So you know that's the most important thing, because the zik in itself has an effect. It's just like if you're taking medicine. You know, if you take an Advil, you don't gotta focus on. You know, you would focus on you feeling better because that's the goal. But you know, you could take an Advil and you could have various things going on in your mind. But as long as you take it, that headache gonna go away for the time being. So you know, that's the answer to that. So until our minds meet again, if you have any questions or if you want to actually join the tariqah, the pathway of the Tijani, just um, send a message to secretofallah@gmail.com. And this is the Tijani path of the Sirullah, the secret of Allah, right? To be specific. So, until our minds meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be on you all. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق وخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سيدنا محمد رسول الله عليه السلام لا إن ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين